Hello Tech Pros, episode 197.
There's going to be some creativity that comes up, and then trust that intuitive wisdom.
Welcome to the podcast where I chat with professionals who are getting the job done using technology 7 days a week. Each week we start with Motivation Monday. Tuesday is about productivity, Wednesday, leadership, Thursday, technology, Friday, people and communication, Saturday, entrepreneurship, and Sunday, being unplugged. All right, let's get started. Hello, Tech Pros. This is Chad Bostic, and I'm excited to introduce our featured guest today, Wes Pinkston. Happy Monday, Wes.
Happy Monday, Chad.
Are you motivated to get this interview started?
I'm inspired and motivated.
Awesome. Wes Pinkston is an entrepreneur focusing on building and executing digital strategies. He's a leading social media and digital marketing consultant for real estate agents and brokers. He was recently named a Swain Pool Top 20 social media influencer in real estate and is an Inman News contributor and ambassador. And Wes, we were talking before the show, before we kicked it off, and dude, you've got so many different ventures and real estate and Hollywood and so much stuff going on in your past and in your current that I'm kind of in awe right now. So I think this is going to be a really, really cool episode, and I'm excited to talk to you about this stuff.
Absolutely. I'm in awe of you too, Chad.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So, Wes, today is Motivation Monday, and as you know on Hello Tech Pros, Motivation Monday is all about hitting the week with a high level of energy and enthusiasm and just big old smile on our face and ready to take on any kind of challenge that we encounter throughout the week. But you know what, dude, I got a feeling that you're human just like me. And we have all run into these circumstances in our life when we're not motivated and we're kind of feeling down and out and we're not really jiving about the role that we're in or the business that we're in or what's going on in society or whatever. So maybe if you don't mind, could you share with us a time in your personal life or your business when you were completely unmotivated? You were the opposite of Motivation Monday. You just didn't want to get out of bed in the morning, let alone go through the normal day-to-day grind. And then we can talk about like how you flipped it around and what your mindset and thoughts are these days.
Yeah, I would say the past 30 years of my life have been unmotivated. It's always been kind of a forced thing. Although it is Motivation Monday, I don't like the term motivation. I've always been kind of the rah-rah guy on the football team, on my college football team. Shout out to the Chapman Panthers in Orange County. I've always been that rah-rah guy, but I don't believe that's the most effective and in harmony way to go through life is through the external pushing and pulling. So recently, the past kind of 2-3 months, I've been in a very fortunate position to do some deep self-reflection and to really get back into harmony and to figure out what exactly do I want to do? What is the pace? Because we're in the West out here, we are in this habitual, compulsive do culture, and we never really. Some of the most profound words from a very close friend of mine, Justin, who set me on a path of doing this. He said, "Hey, take a step back. Just consistently reflect. We have reading, writing, arithmetic, but one of the most important R's that we should look into is reflection." Is what you're doing, is it working for you? How do you feel? Because if you need to be motivated, if I have to listen to Anthony Robbins, if I have to listen to Ray Lewis and these motivational guys, I would say if it's not coming from within, then it's not going to ever come out and really be a productive venture. I know there's the common sayings, if you love what you do, you'll never have to work a day in your life. Mm-hmm. And that's absolutely true. So what I would say is definitely be motivated, and do some push-ups if you're a sales guy, if you need that kind of adrenaline. But I would say I kind of flip it on you on this Monday and say, do some reflection and really listen to your intuitive wisdom and stop intellectually evaluating and analyzing every single thing, because a lot of the answers are very, very simple. We just tend to get caught up into we pick a job and we just do it and we just grind and we just grind. But with me, I would say go with the flow and stop that grinding mentality. You'll notice just profound results from it, and realize that that's just one role that you have. Don't identify with being a real estate agent, with being an entrepreneur, with being this one sole kind of character, this artificial character that you have of yourself in your head. Don't just identify with that. When you get home, take that off and really understand that you're so much more than that. So completely ship that on you, Chad. But I think that would I hope that resonates with your listeners.
No, it absolutely resonates with me. And as I hear you talking about this, Wes, it feels like, yes, you are talking to me. Yes, you are talking to the listeners here on the show. But it seems like you're also like really talking to yourself and really speaking to yourself about the things that you value and the things that you don't value, and maybe the lifestyles or the careers and the energies that you've been a part of recently or in the past, and you're really talking to yourself about making the shift. So do you have like a specific story about a time when you were just not jiving with what was going on and you really had to talk yourself out of, you know what, I'm doing this grind, I'm doing this daily thing, but it's not working. Like maybe I'm being productive and maybe I'm, having success in my career, but it's just not me and I just don't like it and I just want to get out of it.
Yeah, I would say my entire business career. I went to school in Orange County at Chapman University, and it's crazy because my dad is an older commercial real estate guy, and it's really profound how we just pick up and we're just kind of conditioned to kind of take what our parents have learned, and then we take it, and I'm just running with it. So I'm studying real estate in college, and I've never really thought about what I want to do. You just tend to justify your major. So you go pick a real estate career, and then you just continuously do it and do it and do it and just say, okay, well, maybe the reason I don't feel, because I had success, I guess you could say success from a monetary standpoint, but I would go home at night and everybody I would talk to, you view them as a lead. You view them as a client. But what I was doing is I was cutting myself away from love and really connecting with friends and just like-minded souls. I guess not like-minded, but just souls, and just loving people and not being able to take off that salesman cap. It got to a point where I'm like, why am I so unhappy? I don't know really why Los Angeles compelled me to move up there from San Diego, because I'm more of a kind of a slower town, small town kind of guy. All my family's from Indiana, and that's kind of the vibe. So the external, I thought these were the things that I wanted: Beverly Hills, beautiful girls, beautiful real estate. Like, this is it. But I would always come home and just feel very, very unsatisfied, very, very void of something, and it just never really clicked to me. So I have moved back down to San Diego, and just a lot of self-reflection and just stopping. We always say, hey, this is not going right. What do I do? This is not, going as planned. What do I do? The whole thing is to stop doing, because the answers are not on the external. The answers are internal. And now that I've really been able to listen to who I am and to figure out exactly what makes me click, now I can go back out into society, into the world, and really, really go deep. And that's what I'm doing now. Is I didn't really have a lot of deep connections with people. It's just these roles of playing salesman, playing this role, playing friend, and always kind of putting up this role that you identify with, and always projecting success. Well, I don't want to do that anymore. I just want to be truly who I am, and who I am, it can change every day. I don't have to be this one person that carries all this baggage of memory in my past. Like, I want to be able to be whatever I want to be today or tomorrow. And it keeps a lighter feel to where I don't have to project, and I can see behind the roles that I have and really kind of get deep and connect with people and just see where it leads to. Because if you say, oh, I'm a digital marketing guy, or I'm a social media guy, then that labels you and it says, okay, I'm unable to really help you out unless you're in social media. And really what I'm getting just amazing results from is just opening up incredible organic conversation and seeing where it goes. There's a lot of amazing people out there, and we're just so fearful and greedy. Just that's the culture that we're born into. But once you can realize that it's all an illusion right there, and that people just want to be loved and just want to connect with others, that's the one thing I was lacking up in Los Angeles that I found now. And it just seems much easier. It's much more within the harmony of the world.
Wes, thank you so much for sharing that story, because I can completely empathize with what's going through your head. Not that I know anything about Hollywood, not that I know anything about real estate whatsoever, or what you have been through on your personal life journey, right? But I know the feeling of putting this role on and wearing this role like it is a mantle, like it defines me, right? And I have felt in the past like I don't know who I am, and I struggle with what do I do, right? Struggle as a kid, like a college kid, of do I go to school and what do I take? And I don't really want to be here, but I'm supposed to be here, but I want to drop out. But if I drop out, I don't think I'll end up doing anything of importance, and I don't know what my dreams and passions are. And okay, I can do this computer stuff, so I dive into it and I start labeling myself because other people label me as, hey, you're really, really good with technology. And I go, okay, then I'll be the tech pro, right? I'll be that technology guy, and I'll learn as much as I can about it and dive super, super deep into it to try to be the expert, because I want to be fulfilled. Like you were saying, I want to connect with people, and I want them to respect me because of I'm adding value in their life, because I'm delivering the software, because I'm delivering these websites, these apps, this whatever is going on. And what I found in my career is that I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't connecting with people. I was just doing a job. And it just so happened that the job I was doing was like 6 inches away from a computer screen and never communicating with other people. And for 8, 10, 12, 14 hours a day, I was doing this stuff. And then when I would leave my job and go do something else, I had that social anxiety, and I just was afraid to really try to build connections with other people because I was afraid of the rejection. I was afraid of judgment. I was afraid of how they were going to view me. Like I'm a complete dork. And I'm the one that kind of bought into the idea that I need to do this technology stuff. And so it's like it can get to a cycle in your head of, I need to do this because this is my job. I need to 24/7 like own this role, whatever that role is, whether it's real estate or whether it's sales or whether it's software development or whether it's a podcast host or whatever we're doing today. Like this defines me. And what I hear you saying, and what I completely agree with if you're saying it, is your role does not define you. You define the role.
Absolutely. And you have to know when you're playing the role and then how to get out of it. But it's funny, what you just talked about is that internal dialogue, that internal narrative that we tell ourselves. And while we're having this internal dialogue with ourselves, almost none of it ever comes to fruition. Almost none of it takes place. It's like monkey mind. It's constantly running. And that's what I've noticed a lot of results from, is just through meditation. And just witnessing the thoughts, letting the thought come in, let it manifest itself, take place, and let it go. It's when we start wrestling with it, and then we're having internal conversations with other people and their roles and how they're going to view us. It's insane. Like I was like, I'm insane. Like once you sit down, and I'm not saying meditate in a full lotus position and hurt your knees in a human pretzel, but I have been doing quite a bit of research on it and studies, and just observe your thoughts. Don't interact with them, but it's absolutely insane. So what we do is we think about the thoughts that we have. We don't observe them. We hang out with them. And while all this is taking place, almost none of it ever comes to fruition and manifests itself in the external world. So it's really slowing down and understanding how little control you have of almost everything. I mean, because once you realize how complex and how crazy your mind is, and I'm speaking of me, not yours, Chad.
You're definitely speaking of mine too. I can attest.
As I begin to really just witness, not interact, but just witness the thoughts that come in my head, then you can kind of take them apart slowly and realize they have no merit. They have nothing behind them, and then they will cease to exist and cease to come back into form into your mind. So, and you just kind of realize, like, wow, if I'm this complex, if I'm having all of this internal dialogue, well, then my coworker or my wife or my husband must be as well. And you have a newfound appreciation for all the people that you come in contact with. Because then you start to begin like, okay, now I realize how difficult it is to communicate. Mm-hmm. Because of the 100 feelings that we have, 99 of them don't have a word for them. It's almost impossible for me to really convey to you how I feel at this current moment. And that's why, just by being, and that's why social media, I love it, and I have a new appreciation for it and new possibilities as I've come to it with new eyeballs and a new loving appreciation for what social media can do. Because I was using social media, but I really wasn't going deep with people because I didn't understand people, because I didn't understand myself. And now I think with Twitter, with Snapchat, I think it's so incredible because we're so interconnected, but yet we cut ourselves off of love, of fear at everybody. We're always trying to compete, and I want to view it in a more collaborative sense.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I feel you on the complexities of the brain and the craziness of the thought processes. I mean, I feel you. I literally thought that I was completely insane for much of my life, because I would have these really, really deep conversations not with made up people, right? Not with like imaginary friends, but with real live people that I worked with, or I went to school with, or I was friends with, or I had family members. I would have deep, deep conversations. He said this, and then she said that, and then I responded this, and then they said this. But it was just in my brain in the moment. When they would ask me a question, I would think about, okay, here's the response I'm going to give, and then this is what they're going to say, and that's how they're going to take it. Then they're going to say this, and then I'm going to have to come back defensive, and and my mind is literally going 1,000 miles an hour. And it's kind of like if you ever seen The Matrix #2, where Neo is talking to the architect, and he's got all the different television screens, hundreds of TV screens up there, and all the different instances of Neo throughout the different ages of the Matrix, and they're all having similar but different reactions and different variations of the same message. That's kind of like the way that my mind, I almost said worked. It still works that way, but now I feel you. Like, you need to just watch that. You need to see that, okay, that's going on, but then just kind of ignore it and learn to let it go and just be in the moment, be present, and have the conversation with the people that are literally right there in front of you, instead of the conversations with the imaginary people that you're making up in your mind.
Exactly. That's what I was getting at. I don't have imaginary friends, not yet. I welcome them, but I was saying kind of the and that's the whole thing is it's like, oh, that's Tom. Oh, I know Tom. You don't know Tom.
Right.
Because unless you really know yourself, you don't know how complex Tom is. You only know one small facet of a role that Tom may play. But if you can really get to know Tom, then business is very, very easy. It's very simple to really get behind that role and to connect from soul to soul. Well, then it's incredibly easy. All the complications come by all the assumptions and the internal narrative that we have of Tom. It can just make everything so complex, and then you start to really have to convince this person of buying my product. It's like, that's not going to happen. They're buying into the person, and that's so I wasn't saying I have imaginary friends by any means, and anybody that's listening that does. That's okay too. That's all okay. Beautiful. It's all beautiful. Right.
That's all beautiful, and we're just trying to understand you. It's all good. We're just trying to understand what makes you tick.
Absolutely.
I'm still trying to understand what makes me tick.
Yeah, well, you don't have to rush it. And a lot of people, I've had conversations with some that have said, oh, so-and-so is, back home living with his parents, and, he's just, he's a failure or something like that. And it's like, whoever said by 25 or 26 I had to have my life figured out? Mm-hmm. that didn't exist back in the day. Like, I feel completely fine, but like, I guess based on, cultural and societal norms, I don't feel like I'm up to the norm. And then you start creating this issue in your head that doesn't really exist. It's that you're falling short of a societal norm, and then you start to think that you're a failure. And once your thought process starts to go into that mode, that can be very, very dangerous, because you just lose all self-confidence when the whole time you're fine. You're beautiful, you're perfect, you have an incredible story, and that's what I love to do when I work with my clients. I love to help tell their story. And quickly they'll say, well, my story's not interesting. And I'm like, oh, that's not true at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's how you tell it. And now that I understand the power of the words, and really it's about understanding yourself. And once you do, the world is so beautiful and amazing. With me, back in the day, I didn't view the world. I had an awareness and a consciousness that was just wasn't toxic, but it was just very business oriented, to the point where it wasn't loving. I wasn't connecting with anybody. And I'm like, why do I not feel, very whole? Like, I'm doing well from what society views success as, but I don't like this. I want something way, way more.
Yeah, I feel you. I've wanted more for a long time, and where I thought the problems were, right? I thought the problems were external, but it was really just like you said, that I was creating issues in my own head that for some reason or another I didn't fit into society's norms, and that I started placing all these barriers in front of me, saying I can never reach this level because I don't fit, or I will never be successful because I can't talk to people, I can't communicate. When in fact I can communicate, I can talk to people, and I can have relationships. I have to get past those issues in my own head. So Wes, in just a moment, I would like to ask you about the idea of social media. When we touched on it very briefly, and I love the idea that social media can actually help us create deeper, more meaningful relationships with people, because honestly, there's kind of this stigma of social media in the world, that it's very topical, and it's very, your Facebook friends are not your friends, and your Twitter friends or Twitter connections are not even that, but you kind of touched on something about creating really deep, meaningful relationships and conversations with people that I want to get back to in just a moment. But first, we're going to take a quick break and thank our sponsors. This episode of Hello Tech Pros is sponsored by Minio Cloud Storage. Minio is a cloud object storage server for developers and DevOps written in Go. The Go programming language is the emerging language of choice for modern cloud infrastructure projects, and it allows Minio to be highly concurrent and lightweight. Minio is Amazon S3 compatible, built with microstorage architecture in mind, but at its heart, Minio is simple, scalable, and supported by a passionate developer and user community. In episode 89 of Hello Tech Pros, I talked with A.B. Periasamy, one of the founders of Minio, about the importance of community support and recruiting software developers who are as passionate about their product's code as artists are of their art. Check out that episode at hellotechpros.com/89 and check out Minio Cloud Storage at minio.io. That's minio.io. Are you new to podcasting? Are you looking for a fast, high-quality, yet budget-friendly podcast production team? Let TransSource Media take care of you. With a team of professional audio and video editors, writers, and graphic artists, they can help you build your podcast from planning, post-production, and platform submission. Using only cutting-edge software and studio equipment, they're here to make each and every show sound at its best. To get a free quote, please visit www.transsourcemedia.com or send them an email at marketing@transsourcemedia.com or call them at 209-505-5693. TransSource Media, transforming businesses through the power of multimedia. Okay, we're back with Wes Pinkston. Wes is an entrepreneur focusing on building and executing digital strategies, and he's leading social media and digital marketing consultant for real estate agents and brokers. We've been talking to Wes about, sometimes you need to step back. You need to do a lot more time stepping back and reflecting on yourself. what's working for you, what's resonating with you, what is good for your heart, for your soul, for your spirit, for your life, for your work, for your love, and are you just trying to fit into the role that you have signed up for or that somebody else signed up for you, or are you really living a fulfilled life? So one of the things that you mentioned, Wes, is how you love that social media like Twitter and Snapchat can help you today build really, really deep connections with people. And to be honest with you, I use social media as like a platform to do outreach and try to connect with new people and to provide them a little bit of value-added information. But I never saw it as a platform that I could really develop strong relationships with. So I would love to find out more about this this knowledge that you have.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of the perspective that I had kind of back in the day. I wanted to kind of be an authority figure in the real estate industry, and I wanted a lot of followers, and I wanted to, it was just a means to project the success that I was having, a very egoic, unfulfilling thing to do. But that was the reality of it. I did establish deep connections with it, but if you don't have the awareness, like social media is whatever you want it to be. It's just simply a means of communication, whether it's Snapchat, whether it's, Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. They're really just a means to connect. So it's all in the hands of the user. But what is your consciousness like? What is your awareness? If you don't understand how deep, yourself is, or how deep you are yourself, then it's going to be very difficult to connect. Because that's the whole thing. I'm seeing the difficulty with people. I would say social media is a reflection of your awareness. And I see a lot of people kind of using it for means of, I don't like to cold call, so I'll ramp up business on social media. It doesn't work that way. I look at a lot of self-proclaimed and award-winning social media strategists, and no one ever likes their content. No one ever retweets it. No one ever follows it. So I don't really understand if it's not working for them, what are they telling? I don't understand how they're telling anybody anything of real practical value. It's not just creating this piece of content and then repurposing it, 20 different times. It has to keep the human feel to it. And you have to reach out and then talk to people. It just simply amplifies your message. Nobody kind of follows their insurance agent. Because if I'm going to follow a real estate agent or an insurance agent, if you're only going to talk about this one small aspect of a role that you identify with, from 9 to 5, or maybe it is your 24/7, that's completely fine. But I don't care, and it's not too captivating to me, or I'm indifferent. It's not too captivating to hear about, the new mortgage rates every day. I want to know behind your role, John Smith, who are you? And then I'll connect with that. But with me back in the day, I was going deep, but not nearly as deep as I am now. And it's really less about acquiring, the quantity of followers, and it's more of the quality. Because there are ways on Twitter, on Instagram, to really kind of be geo-specific and to really go deep with people. But it's a mini marriage business, whether it's getting a mortgage, whether you're working with, a salesman. It's a mini mortgage, and you're going to deal with a personality. You're going to deal with a certain awareness of somebody. And if your social media profile doesn't really project that and have that human feel, then I would say you're just absolutely wasting your time. Because when you have this large company that's just projecting out content, it's all automated. There's no reason to follow that. Look at the 21-year-olds, the YouTube superstars. They get social media. It's keeping it fun and interactive, and being okay with some misspelling, and just being completely vulnerable, authentic, and transparent. They do have a character and a role and an act they're playing, but they're very, very vulnerable and authentic. And that's the whole thing. It's very difficult to drum up business as an insurance agent. But just try being an incredible soul that loves people, and then it's, I also happen to sell insurance. Well, I'm going to work with you then, because I love what you do. I love the talks that we have. You're just a really great person. You're really a purveyor of the community, as opposed to just someone who sells insurance at this one address.
Man, Wes, that's so deep yet so true on so many levels, and I think it's not just about social media, but just the people that we interact with in life, right? If we're always like wearing that hat of whatever role that we're in, and I'm picturing myself literally like I'm wearing a hat that says I'm a podcast host, and I've constantly got my microphone in my hand, and if I'm just walking around town, in every interaction that I have, I'm constantly looking at, are you a good guest on my show? Would you make a good sponsor, right? Do you have anything of value to add me? Okay, then never mind, right? And I'm just constantly pushing that down people's throats. If that's how I lived in normal everyday life, then who wants to be around that guy? I mean, he sounds like a complete D-bag, right? He sounds like a complete jerk where nobody wants to hang out with him, right? Nobody wants to invite him over to their barbecues at their house.
I would say the people that do want to hang out with you, be a little bit leary.
Right,
Because
right.
they're wearing their hat of, I don't want to label a certain industry, but yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. But then misery loves company. And then it's a quick cycle. I mean, you can start to have people around you, and then I've heard sayings like, "Oh, if you have one or two friends by the end of your life, you've done well." And I'm like, "What?
That's sad.
That sounds terrible." But we start to justify exactly the lifestyle that we have, and everything is much easier when you just leave the roles at the door and just connect with people. Let organic, beautiful, loving conversation take place, and then see what manifests. If you begin to just label yourself, well, I do this and this and this, and I don't like to go out, it's like, okay, I don't really have much for you. But if you say, hey, I love to just connect with people, well, then there's so much that I can offer you. Let me check my contact list, because I just love who you are, and let's just all hang out and just see where it goes. But when you start to just tell people, I only do this, and I'm here, and I don't like to drink, and I don't like to do this, and it's like, okay, what do you do? It's just we tend to just go in this declining direction of cutting ourselves off from love and connecting with people. But that's okay, and that's all right too. It's all right. That's the most important thing, is that do what you got to do, but I'll love you nonetheless.
Awesome. So, Wes, we've touched on a lot of different things, and it all kind of seems to be circling back to be authentic, be yourself. Don't try to fake it and just like 24/7 portray that image, that perfect image of whatever role, whether it's sales, whether it's work, whether it's stay-at-home mom, whatever that image is that you're trying to portray. We're all deep. We all have different aspects in our life, and just be authentic about it and lay it out. But if you have any final words of wisdom for our audience, please feel free to share, and then share with us the best way that we can connect with you, and then we'll say goodbye.
It just kind of came to me, but drink a lot of water and eat your fruits and vegetables. and then also, as you're self-reflecting, there's going to be some creativity that comes up, and then trust that intuitive wisdom. As we begin to go into a culture, go into a profession and an industry, they tell you what you should do, what the norm is, and the most successful people are the ones that really kind of test the barriers. And everybody is creative. Everybody has beautiful ideas. And the way how fast technology is going, from the inception of an idea to how quickly it can manifest and become an actual product or service, it's incredible. It's not costly at all. It's just sit and relax and stop compulsively doing. And an incredible idea may manifest, and then trust it and just go try it. I mean, what else is there to do? I mean, if you're unhappy, working for someone else and just really grinding out these 9 to 5s, and every week you're looking forward to the weekends, that shouldn't feel right. And I would say turn off Game of Thrones, reflect for a couple hours, and then give yourself a chance to have these creative kind of juices start flowing, and then you can evaluate it using the intellect, and then go make it happen. Everybody's got an incredible story. Everybody has incredible creativity. It's just when we're hyped up on coffee, always doing, we don't allow that intuitive wisdom to come to the surface. So that's it. And yeah, I've actually changed my social media handles. So on Instagram, it's Wes Pinkston now. That's the same for Twitter, Snapchat, Wes Pinkston. Just email me and let's talk. My email is wespingston@gmail.com. And let's just connect. I'm here to make friends, and that's the whole thing. And we'll see where it goes from there.
Well, Wes, thank you so much for joining me on Hello Tech Pros today. I really value your call for friendship. I think there's not enough of that in the world today. And it's given me a lot of motivation here on Motivation Monday to really look at my social media, look at my outreach, look at how I'm connecting with people outside of these calls, outside of these podcasts, and really approach each individual like as a potential best friend that we could connect with on many, many different levels. And I just really appreciate you bringing that energy to the show today.
Absolutely. Now we're friends, Chad.
Perfect. Awesome.
Made a friend today.
Awesome. I love it.
Thank you for your time, man. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Tech Pros, if you are, if any of this resonates with you, there's a couple of different levels that I think may resonate with a lot of technical professionals out there. One is you don't have to be perfect, right? So many times we want to perfect our craft. We want to perfect our thing, our style, our code, our technology, our whatever it is before we put it out there and be brave enough to kind of show it to the world and say, hey, here's what I'm working on. This is what I'm excited about, or whatever. I've struggled with social anxiety. I've talked to so many different people across my career that's just really ashamed of kind of the fun stuff that they do in life that's not part of the role. And then the other takeaway is, you are not defined by your role because you are a JavaScript developer, you are a Rails person, you are an AWS, Amazon server admin. It doesn't mean crap at the end of the day. That's just a job that you perform. Who you are is who you are on the inside, and the goals and aspiration and things that you want to do and how you connect to other people. That's who you are, and that's what really, really matters. So you now have two new friends in your life.
Absolutely.
You've been listening to Wes Pinkston, and I'm Chad Bostic. And until next time, take care. The show notes page for this episode can be found at hellotechpros.com/197. Do you use Slack for team communication? Join the Hello Tech Pros Slack channel at hellotechpros.com/Slack. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review, subscribe to this channel, and check back tomorrow. This has been Motivation Monday, but tomorrow my featured guest and I talk about productivity. On Wednesday, leadership, Thursday, technology, Friday, people and communication, Saturday, entrepreneurship, and Sunday, being unplugged. Then next week, we start it all over again with Motivation Monday. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.